Kevin, a successful afternoon. Progress achieved against Evesham United here this afternoon by a score of 4-1. Ultimately, just overpowering Evesham, I think. But they give you some moments in that game. They did enjoy some chances, and they made it hard for you.
They did indeed. They rock us back. It's a poor goal for us to concede and give them the impetus. But the way we, responded to that was a real positive. Within seconds, I think we're back at level. I think there's a period that after we equalised that we've really got to go and take moments and situations and move the game away from Evesham, and we dominated possession in that period and haven't been sharp enough with the finishing, and that's a little bit of a reoccurring theme when you look back at last week in the league, and away at Chorley we've had moments and chances to move the game away from them and haven't taken them, and we've got to be more ruthless in those moments, and when those chances come along you've got to stick them in the back of the net. And we could have gone in behind at half time. Josh has come up with 2 fantastic saves, poor moments where we switch off and allow them to get a run on us, and fortunately Josh has made 2 fantastic saves. And I wouldn't be happy at 1-1 at half time, and the lads heard that and felt that, and like I say, we've been in these games often enough to understand what they take to get through, and when you don't take your moments and chances, they can be sticky games, and it was a sticky game today, and it wasn't, we'd never really put Evesham to the sword in the way that I'd like. The game didn't have the complexion that we would have all have wished for. Nonetheless, we're through, and that's the most important thing. All of us, take a learning from what's happened today, and where we can go and do better. It's nice to look forward to the draw on Monday. Pleased for everybody at the club.
Sure. Evesham they've progressed through a number of rounds to get here, and I think they've had a little bit of media attention this week as well. I think Midlands today were down there to see them. So they weren't going to come here and roll over, were they? They came here and they did scrap hard for it. You've got to be prepared for that.
You have. I watched them on Monday at Bracknell, and they've got 3 goals there, and they've got players in the side that are at step 3 looking to progress and looking to shift them up the ladder, and we've got a lot of players that are making the step up from step 3 into step 2 and doing all right at the moment, and it is finding that extra little bit of steel or nastiness or whatever you want to deem it to be that makes the difference, and makes you ultimately more consistent with results. It's nice to hopefully learn off the back of a victory. We're still learning, understanding and growing, and hopefully that continues to be the case.
Sure. The depth off the bench ultimately, I wouldn't say proved to be the difference, but when you have got last season's Southern League Premier Central highest scorer on the bench to bring on, but it probably Matty's ruthlessness, I think, probably was why you brought him on so early, I would guess.
Yeah, Aidan's a little bit frustrated with his game today, but he offers so much to us in the way that we play, and it's been terrific for us since he's been in. It's great that we've got somebody like Steno to come in there. There are others there that we could put in. Ola hasn't had much of a chance lately. Ricky only got a couple of minutes off the bench there today. There are other good players in there, and as you saw, Reece and Dylan get off the bench, Jamie and Charlie, have had real solid games. Just got to find that little bit of cutting edge at the top end, and like I say, they are growing, learning, progressing all the time, and hopefully, as I say, that continues to be the case and keeps moving us forward.
Sure. Is it a bit early to know about the injury for Orrin Pendley that forced him off?
It possibly is. I don't think it's anything too serious. We'll have it, looked at. It will need a day or so to settle down and see exactly where it's at, but hopefully it's nothing too bad. Hopefully just some bruising. But again, Jordan's got off the bench and gone in there, and would be a little bit unfortunate to come out the side when he did, only through suspension. Hopefully a week's rest and what have you, like Orrin will be back and available.
Sure. A little bit unhappy with the challenge maybe that injured Orrin, or?
Yeah, I thought there were 1 or 2 moments there that the referee could have done a bit better with, but look, it's not for me to criticise him now. No real need for that. Yeah, look, you know, I guess in a certain way it was challenging for him. But yeah, all I'm worried about is winning the game and getting through and progressing to the next round.
Sure. And the draw is on Monday. There will be all eyes on that, certainly for supporters now. Of course, your focus will be AFC Fylde here next week, which is a very different challenge.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, as I sort of try to make people aware, the mental challenge that you face in playing teams like that, as opposed to, with the greatest respect to teams like Evesham, they are different challenges, very far removed from one another, and yeah, we need to understand that. Hopefully, we play in the vein that we played against Kidderminster and Spennymoor here, and you know, lots of teams recently that we've played against and managed the ball really well and given ourselves a chance. Yeah, if we can play to that level again, which I'm sure we can, you know, hopefully we'll give ourselves a chance and give, you know, Fylde a good game. Certainly very respectful of what they are, the good players they've got, and you know, the solid season they're having at the moment. So yeah, look, it's a challenge. You know, every game you play at step 2 is going to be a challenge. They're no easy games. So yeah, it's important that we regroup Tuesday, Thursday, and you know, hopefully, like I say, most everybody's fit and available for next Saturday.
Kevin, congratulations on your progress today. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.